Hello Capricorn friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Capricorn August 2022 Astrology Must-Knows Horoscope Forecast. Definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com. That's the interface for all the free goodies I make for you each month to help you make the most of the starry possibilities. And I'm very excited to announce a new launch, something that you have been asking for, that I am finally implementing, which is a special extra content access subscription option for more from me. Okay, so you can go to Annie B Astrology, that's Annie and then the letter B, astrology.com, also in the links beneath the notes or of the video or the podcast. And you can see how to join the extra fun and extra content that I'm going to be sharing there, including learning more about your natal chart and how to read it and use it, plus lots on the current transits. Now, this is for you. This recording right here is for you if Capricorn is your sun sign or your moon sign like me, or your rising sign or your Venus sign like me, or any other Capricorn placements that you have. What we're going to talk about here is going to be part of your astrological picture. So if you are a very late degree Capricorn placement, also like I am through my moon, so we'll say January 13th through the rest of the sign or 23 degrees through the rest of the sign, then I additionally recommend you listen to my Aquarius report. So the Capricorn report, the Aquarius report for you late degree friends will have information for you. You'll have a more complex read, so you've got to do a little more work to cover your bases there. Okay, so what's going on in August? We've got a lot of must-knows, so let's just take them piece by piece. First must-know is that we are still in a little breather between the eclipse seasons. So July, August is the time that we're integrating, that, some of the eclipse changes and stories have fallen a little bit more into the backdrop, and that is exciting. So we'll take that break because September through the rest of the year is going to build into, back into the the Taurus Scorpio eclipse cycle. That is very intense, but it is in a positive aspect for Capricorns. But here in August, we do have a little breather from those big epic changes. Okay, so the next big must know is we are also in the last open period free from personal planet retrograde. So June 19th through August 21st is the last time of the whole of 2022 that we don't have Mercury retrograde or the shadow, Venus retrograde or the shadow, Mars retrograde or the shadow. All right, so once we're into the end of August, we start slipping into Mercury retrograde. September 4th, we start slipping into Mars retrograde, and that transit will last 6 to 7 months, which we'll go into lots more detail later in this report. But what's important to know now is that anything that requires oomph, that you want to go far and wide, that requires titanic effort, yours or someone else's, anything with oomph, ambition, that you want to be around for a long time, plans to be made, with as minimal confusion as possible, with more certainty in what you're planning, all of that stuff is much better in the window June 19th through August 21st, because the retrogrades, as many virtues as the retrogrades do have, it does tend to bring us inward and backward rather than outward and forward. So if you have to do anything outward and forward and it's ready to get out into the world, you might want to get it out at this time, because you're not going to have a great opportunity like this until spring of 2023 or fall for you all down under, when everything is all direct and clear and rowdy again. Okay, so try to just muster the energy. If you're tired, as many Caps tend to be, right? Because we tend to have a lot of projects and we tend to be taking care of a lot of people and managing a lot of things. But if you've got something with your business or a personal project or a family project or a house project or something that you're wanting to get done and you're kind of like, oh, you're tired, you still might want to get it done, just because the retrograde is going to offer a lot of opportunity for things to slow down and for you to rest, but you'll want to have gotten the stuff done first. Okay, so hopefully a word to the wise is sufficient there. The next big must know is we do still have a very strong lighting up of your relationship sectors. Okay, so we've got the 8th house of Scorpio lit up by these Leo transits, and that is bringing a lot of opportunities for deep dive with relationship, a lot of time with your honey, or a lot of new love if that's what you're looking for. New chapters, a chance to connect. It's an amazing time for vacations and plans and, you could do something you've always wanted to do and have some really amazing experiences, and there's a very good chance that people close to you and intimate relationships are going to be front and center with whatever you do. The Leo energies are also bringing a strong note of children, okay? So if you're trying to have a baby, this is very good energy. If you're hoping to find out you're pregnant, this is very good energy. If you already have kids, you might find that you're doing amazing things with them. So planning a vacation before school's back in or something at this time is really beautiful use of, the intimacy and the creativity and the fun. You might also find that you're doing something you've always wanted to do, like a bucket list thing at this time. So this is a really great time for creative expression, for relationship connection, and even for taking action on some important things that have to do with estate planning or loans or debt or taxes. There's a lot of robust solution-bringing possibilities to those sectors, and since the planets are direct, the personal planets are direct, this is, a pretty good time if you have to do wills or, the stuff that we don't really like to talk about because it pertains to, a time that we'd rather not think about. But you've got a really great opportunity to put some things in process for legacy projects or something like that at this time. This also is a time when Virgo energies are really blazing very strongly, okay? We're going to have Mercury get there as the month progresses. The Sun will get there. And for Capricorns, this is going to light up your 9th house. So the 9th house has to do with travel, long distance travel. This can have to do with writing, publishing, teaching, speaking, education. All of those things are going to come into focus, whether it's your education or your kids' education. But again, travel is featuring very strongly here. And August is one of my favorite months for travel for the whole year, actually, because of a lot of reasons. But for caps, I have cap placements. You can be sure I'll be scheduling trips at this time. So this is a really fun time for you to broaden your horizons, to relax a little bit. And even though, as I said, you do want to get your projects pushed through, there still is time for projects related to experiences also being pushed through at this time. Okay, so as the Virgo placements start and continue, these are all going to create beautiful trines with your placement. Trines are the most favorable in all of astrology, and so you're going to get extra kisses in the detail-oriented areas, okay? So if you have to do something that requires a lot of detail, that requires editing, that requires, a really prudent eye on something, that requires a lot of planning, all of those things are very well done at this time. If you're creating curriculum, this is very well supported. If you're studying, this is very well supported. So there's just a lot of beautiful energy having to do with all of that. And if you are a writer, you could accomplish a lot in this time. Also, the inspiration coupled with the persistence to write it down is a very nice combination. So you're very likely to see that manifest. So everyone will experience the new moon, of course, in Virgo at 4 degrees, which is going to be on August 27th. And you'll feel it in the days around August 27th. But I'm mentioning this because this is an earth sign that makes a trine for you, okay? So everyone will have new opportunities for work, for family, for pets, for, basically the things that you do day to day. Your family routine, your school routine, your work routine, your office dynamics, your house routine, just anything, your wellness, your supplements, all of that. We'll have a lot of, positive infusion of energy, including setting some new routines into place or taking a break from the old routine and having just like a temporary, something that you're doing that is something you're trying on or something like that. So everyone will get the kisses, especially the earth placements. But those of you close to 4 degrees, if you have a cap placement close to 4 degrees, you're going to get an extra special kiss from this new moon. So we'll say all of the December born and the closer to 4 degrees, the more you'll get the kiss from this new moon on days around the 27th. Okay, so the next big must know has to do with another beautiful aspect. So I'm talking about certain aspects and events, in this report. But if you want a complete list of the sweet, salty aspects that I'm looking at, the dates, what you may see from them, then definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com and sign up for my free email newsletter, because you get that report delivered into your inbox 1 month early, so you can really see the details of what's going on with the aspects. But I am going to talk about a couple of things, and here is another one. So we do have more salty compared to sweet aspects this month. This is an annoying trend that started in July. Before that, we had more sweet aspects compared to salty, but now we've got some more road bumps, okay? So it's nothing to fear. It's just kind of like flowing along and then a bump, flowing along and then a bump, all right? So that's going to happen. We do have at least 10 sweet connections this month, and one of them that's especially relevant for earth signs is in the days around August 22nd. We've got Mercury in Virgo making a beautiful trine with Pluto in Capricorn. Okay, so amazing news could come in, support or like money coming from somebody. I talked about the possibility of winning money, of, having money come to you in some other way that's not your own or from your own efforts, or a collaboration or an affiliate or something like that. Really great news, or a new beginning there, or something that is coming in from work you did before. But in any case, all the earth signs are going to get the extra kiss. All the Capricorns are going to get the extra kiss. And those of you in the late degree designation, so basically the same friends who I said definitely listen to the Aquarius report as well, you all are going to get the bigger kiss from this beautiful aspect, but nobody's going to be left out. So anyone close to 26 degrees of Capricorn, you're going to get a special kiss. So we'll say 21 degrees through the rest of the sign. So that's going to be like January 11th through the rest of the sign. And the closer you are to like the 16th of January, the more of a kiss you'll get from this beautiful aspect in the days around August 22nd. If you have to do something important, this is also a really great time, because even though we're kind of just on the cusp of the Mercury shadow starting, you still have the support of this aspect and a lot of good forward moving energy if you have to implement something of long-term importance. Okay, so the last must knows is that regarding Mars retrograde. So Mars is a retrograde transit that happens, or Mars has a retrograde transit every 2-ish years. And this is going to be 25 degrees back to 8 degrees of Gemini. And so I'm going to do a deep dive into this, but I just want to give you a couple of pieces of information first. This is going to highlight your health, your daily routine, your office dynamics, your work, your, wellness, houses. Anything that you do every day, your structure, your organization or lack thereof, places where you're wasting energy, not streamlining things, all of those topics are going to come up in full effect over the next 6 to 7 months, which is going to offer you a really great long-term possibility of shaving the fat off of your schedule in a way that will make you work more efficiently and make your efforts go further, which means you have to do less of them. I'm forever talking to Caps because I have so much Capricorn energy in my chart. I know this very well. We work very hard, and sometimes that's fun, but sometimes it's not fun. And so, we are on a mission to be more productive and more efficient with our energy through various measures that we'll continue to evolve into over time. But this is a time when you will really be able to see your schedule and see the ways that you're using your energy that's getting wasted, and create systems that will help to streamline your efforts to be more productive and work less, which gives you more time for fun and relaxation, which is the goal. So just know that that is, a long-term transit that you're going to get to work with. And Gemini makes a little bit of an awkward angle with Capricorn, so that tells us that you're going to have to just kind of put up with a little bit of going through some things that you might not want to look at or deal with. And in many cases, this might actually mean starting to train other people to do things. Caps have so much knowledge that it's hard to fathom training someone to do certain things that you do. And the process that it would take to train someone else is so laborious and daunting that you just keep doing things yourself. But you are going to have a deep dive into which things can you train other people to do to free you up. And so you'll start to get hints of that storyline coming in even starting this month. Okay, so now let's talk about Mars direct energy versus Mars retrograde energies, how you can align with what to do in August and what to do afterwards so that you can align with the natural rhythms of the universe. Okay, so I'm recording this for you to help you better understand the Mars retrograde energies, to look at the dates that this full cycle will be relevant for, and to talk about the types of activities we want to align when Mars is direct versus when Mars is retrograde, and give you timelines for that so that you have the notice now that you can try to align your actions with being in sync with Mars. You know, that's what I try to focus on, is to help you align with the natural rhythms of the universe, because when we go with the rhythms, it's much easier and much more enjoyable than if we try to push against them. So the more you know about how the rhythms work, the more you can align naturally with them. Okay, so Mars retrograde, Mars goes retrograde every 2.2 or so years, just to give you a little context. If you think back to around 2 years and 2 months ago, we were in a Mars retrograde cycle. And you can actually look up a Mars retrograde calendar of the past online and look at the times when Mars was in retrograde, you know, just for your research to try to understand the types of energies that you experienced. And I always highly recommend writing in a journal the types of things that come up, especially as I'm helping you get educated on what Mars represents. If you pay attention to the kind of things that come up in Mars retrograde in general and for you personally, then you have your own private plan of how you're going to work with those energies, okay? So the pre-transit shadow period starts September 4th, okay? These shadow periods are very important to note, especially when we have planets that take longer. I mean, really, for any planet, the shadow period is relevant, but the longer the planet takes to do its, full orbit, the longer that pre and post shadow transit are going to be. So in these shadow periods, you start seeing a building of the types of retrograde things that we see, and the energies get stronger and stronger from the beginning of the shadow period, which is September 4th, through October 30th, which is when the actual retrograde is. But if you try to play the game, should I hurry up and do my launch or my big important thing, October 17th, because it's not quite retrograde, you're playing a dangerous game, because, you're in the shadow period, and the more you tune in, the more you'll see how these energies are present even before the actual retrograde occurs. So we're talking about September 4th through October 30th, a building of the retrograde energies, October 30th through January 18th, 2023 for the actual retrograde, and then a starting to lighten with every day we get past January 18th and move towards March 15th of 2023. Those energies are lightening and lightening every day. So, if you have to do something and it's not quite March 15th, at least the energies are much stronger and better than, let's say, if you tried to do something, with a Mars direct type of energy, right after the retrograde ended. So we're talking about Mars going retrograde from 25 degrees of Gemini back to 8 degrees of Gemini. Okay, so now let's talk about, just focus on, well, I guess we'll just leave it there. That's fine. Okay, so through September 3rd, so that means all of August, okay, which is the month right before the energies really start to brew for retrograde, we're really focusing on this new forward movement, tide going out, anything that you want to go longer term, any major launch that you want to have a good, nice birth date. Remember, anytime you do something major, it's a birth date for that activity, and it will carry all the energies of that time. Anything that requires all the things that Mars rules, oomph, get up and go, initiation, energy levels, ambition, initiative, follow through, any of these things, if you have a project that's going to require that type of energy, yours or other people, like you need other people to show up or to collaborate with on a project, you're not the only one that's going to be feeling the retrograde energies. They also will be. So if you're trying to initiate a project that needs other people to show up with their energy and ambition and follow through, then August, up until August, so really, June 19 through all of August is like this really nice open period for all of the personal planet retrogrades. But as far as Mars is going here, anything up until through the end of August and the first couple of days of September, you're going to have a lot more energy for these types of things. Now, the aspect of Mars ruling metal also comes into play. So if you have to purchase anything made of metal, cars, devices, machinery of any kind, major lawn mowing equipment, the direct time is a great time to get the best, focus on anything with metal. And this also has to do with surgeries. Now, please hear me. Just because I'm saying try to, know that there's more energy from the perspective of Mars transits supporting surgeries, whether they're voluntary or necessary, when you've got the direct time. If you're in the retrograde and you have to have a life-saving surgery, don't worry about it. You need that and you have to do it, so don't hesitate to do something that the doctor says will be curative or that you need to prevent a bigger problem. But just to kind of have a guideline. If you're going to need a surgery, you'll have better support for that from the Mars perspective, through August, basically. And the same thing with haircuts, scissors, right? So if you need a new stylist or a new style, you'll have extra oomph for that through August and the first couple of days of September, tattoos, things like that, anything with the metal. If you have to put some legal, instigate legal proceedings against someone, even if you feel like you were wronged, that still is, from the astrological standpoint, an act of aggression, which is ruled by Mars. And there's more oomph and support when Mars is direct if you have to initiate legal proceedings. Now, if you're just responding to something and it's out of your hands, you got to do whatever you got to do. But if you're the one initiating something, Mars direct has much more support there. Okay, so now when we go into Mars retrograde, and obviously I'll be talking about this more as we're actually in that time, but I just want to kind of give you a heads up so you're understanding the flow and you can kind of position your projects and your planning accordingly. So Mars retrogrades basically from September 4th through March 15th, September 4th, 2022 to March 15th, 2023, and especially strong October 30th through January 18th. We're talking about going back to old things or just work as usual, anything that you've been having to do, although you might be a little more lazy and you might be less ambitious, things as usual, editing, light, low stakes projects, even if you want to do something new, but you're not attached to the outcome. And, the biggest thing here is to not take on anything that requires a titanic commitment and follow through, because the odds are that you're going to get lazy or busy or unambitious. And so committing or over promising is a very big, warning here. But anything where you're just kind of working in the backdrop, anything with reflections and self-development and therapy, individual, couple, family, is amazing. And along those lines, dealing with anger and resentment. A lot of times when people are chronically angry and resentful, even if you've done inner work, there could be something going on with your gallbladder and your liver. Now, obviously, I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to diagnose anything. I'm just saying from the energetic standpoint, from doing thousands of live individual readings and doing horoscopes for a very long time and working with astrology medically for 20 years, I have seen when your liver and gallbladder are overburdened, a lot of times the way you are noticing that as a symptom is actually chronic anger and resentment. So if you've done inner work and you can't think of why you should be angry or resentful anymore, it's possible your gallbladder and liver need some work. And that those things may or may not show up on standard medical tests, okay? So you can do things to love your liver. Also neurological things, Mars does additionally rule Aries, and also Mars is a co-ruler for Scorpio, so the sexual organs would be in here as well, or reproductive organs. All of those might have some things that are under the surface that need to be dealt with, either energetically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, or physically. This energy of stepping out of a victim mentality is very important, because a lot of times people feel resentful because they feel like something is happening to them. So just kind of exploring this topic. The same thing with reckless behaviors. I don't know that reckless behaviors are really a great idea anytime overall, either through your voice, like saying something to someone, or your deeds. But it's especially, you have to be especially careful with your head and your physical body. Oops, sorry about that. And your physical body, in Mars retrograde, and old injuries might, or issues might come up to be dealt with. It's a fantastic time for rest and staycations and vacations, enjoying the fruits of past labor, clearing up unfinished business on any level, whether it's in your yard or whether it's in your relationship. All of these things are great for the retrograde. And I have even more resources. If you find my book, Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe, it's actually in all major booksellers on the shelves, or you can get it online or at independent bookstores. I have my no-go checklist of, how to make decisions in Mars retrograde and the questions to ask yourself, and plus a more detailed list of the direct versus retrograde energies. But I just wanted to give you a summary so that you can understand what kinds of things are good to do in August and before for your planning purposes, and what kind of things are good to table or sort of put in your planner for, the last months of the year, September through December, and a little bit into 2023. You can also search for Annie Botticelli Mars retrograde to find a video that I've made on the topic, another video, and also I have a blog on the topic of Mars retrograde, and I also have a blog on general retrograde advice. Okay, so if you're wanting to prepare or get more information, then you can use those resources as well. And of course, continue watching my monthly horoscopes, as I will guide you through the rest of this direct process, and then all of the time we're in retrograde. Okay, so I've given you lots to work with to help you make the most of the energies this month, and to help you understand the energetic patterns at work and play. And if you'd like more resources, I've got all of these here. You can additionally go to the little more button, the little arrow underneath the bottom right of the video. Click on that, and all of the links that I'm giving you here will be clickable, right? So if you're looking for reading options, including a beautiful, very detailed 45-minute audio of your birth chart for $33 from my brilliant husband, you can find that at anniebclarity.com. You can go to anniehelpsyou.com, sign up for my free email newsletter. This is where you can access running a free birth chart. This is where you access my 28-day in-depth virtual coaching program called Shine for free. This is also where you'll find tons of blogs, and you get lots of other perks for being on my newsletter list. If you're looking for written horoscopes by me, always up a month early, you can go to cozybysweetstarlight.com. If you haven't seen this site, go to it. It is so beautiful. We've got, me and my team have lots of amazing astrology-inspired blogs and healthy living blogs. We've got hypnosis for all the signs. We've got healing frequencies for all the signs. I've got the written horoscopes that I write. We have yoga for all the signs. So it's just a very beautiful, comprehensive site. If you're looking for free courses on how to manifest money and wellness, you can go to lumlife.com, my school, Luminous Life Multiversity, LUMLIFE. You can also find my astrology education courses here, including my behemoth of a master course called Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Course, which you can fully utilize even if you don't want to be a professional astrologer, but it certainly will get you up to the level where you could be and show you how to make your business a success. And payment plans are available there too. Now, I've also got 2 books out and more on the way. Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe. You will find this on the bookshelves in all major booksellers, including all the Books A Million, all the Barnes & Nobles. It's right there on the shelf. Plus, you can get it on Amazon and through any independent bookseller. And you can find Radical Prayer on Amazon, and you can order it anywhere as well. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.